Have you ever had that moment of overwhelm? It's universal for everyone. It's an experience that could strike regardless of your relationship status or the number of children you might have. And it has the power to make even the smallest challenges feel insurmountable, leading to tears or sudden angry outbursts. I've had that moment as a young mom. I can recall it easily. And yes, I could have reached out to God in that moment, that 10 seconds before that dam breaks. But I'm telling you, I remember that moment where my child, as I came out of my room, was sitting in a mess of greasy, butter flavored Crisco and oblivious to the mess they were in. This child, this God bless this child, figured out how to undo the safety lock. That failed. And then I heard in the background these children calling me as I am trying to deal with this greasy, butter flavored Crisco child. That they had a disagreement in the other room and they were calling me to referee. As I walked toward the container of Crisco, I decided to pass it up and walk over to the refrigerator. I was looking to God, believe me. I was frustrated. Those darn childproof locks. Angry. That butter flavored Crisco was expensive. And I was just plain tired of cleaning up kid messes. And then I pulled a piece of paper off the refrigerator. I knew was there. It was 2 Corinthians 12:9. I wasn't feeling it, but I decided to reach for it. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. And in that moment, I was feeling weak. Therefore, I will boast all more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Oof. I wasn't feeling it. I saw the words. I read the words. And I handed the words, that piece of paper, to my greasy little child on the ground. This 1.5-year-old child, believe it or not, took that piece of paper and played with it with their greasy little fingers. And I told God at that moment I was weak and ready to blow off some steam, and I needed help. I needed His grace to fall on me. I needed His peace to encompass me at that moment, to consume me, because I was not feeling like a woman of God. And because of this moment, I sure don't feel like what that scripture was saying. And that's when my eyes opened. That's when it was like the light was turned on. And I realized I was reacting out of my emotions. I was letting my emotions lead in that moment. And I know that is never a good idea. So I took a deep breath, thanked God that He was there, and asked me to help me focus on the situation at hand and not on my emotions, but on Him and what I can see Him doing. I shouted to the kids in the other room I was not coming. I had a mess to clean up in the kitchen. So then I picked up my greasy little child, put them on the counter, and with a big smile on their face, not mine, but on this little child's face, I felt God saying to my heart, this is love. Cleaning up this greasy little child was love. And at that edge of overwhelm, I was able to step back, way back. I was able to let go of my frustration and my anger, and it was like it was dissipating, even from those who were fighting in the other room. I took that paper out of my child's hand, wiped off the butter-flavored Crisco, which stained it, and placed it right back on the refrigerator. And it seemed more perfect than ever. Than that scripture be marred by butter-flavored Crisco, because it had been through the battle and it came out on the other side. The battle of letting loose of my emotions and letting God give me a better perspective of life. So, what can you do? Well, if you can prioritize time alone with God, go for it. I had to do this if I was to stay at home being a mom or when I was out in the workforce. Prioritize that time so I could be in the scriptures, so then I could have these tools in my life to maybe put on the refrigerator or nowadays stick on your phone and ask Him for help. And a lot of times that help can come in the form of scripture that we've read before. Also, step out and ask for help from other people, whether it's getting that alone time with God that you're needing, or some time for a break away from your children, or relief from overwhelm at work. Ask God for that help. God does put people in our path, but many times, for a lot of us, we need to ask for that help. In those moments of overwhelm that feel awful, I'm able to focus just for a second and say, God, help. Help me to take that first step towards crushing the overwhelm, not falling into it, so that I can move away from it. Asking for help is strength, not a weakness. Remember, because He lives, it does change everything, even the moments in overwhelm.